VOXLBLADE is a game with an absolutely crazy amount of content when it comes to build making. However, one of these hurdles is blade construction, and I've seen a lot of players, both new and experienced, ask many questions about the sword shrine and its stats. So let's take a dive into exactly how blade construction works and how to properly make your builds. Before that though, I want to thank the members of this channel. It's Jetstone-like. Not as dramatic as I made it seem, huh? If you want to be in every video and want to support the channel, check out the join button right next to the subscribe button. Maybe even click the subscribe button while you're down there too, you know, I don't know. Anywho, let's get into the video. First off, let's understand what makes your weapon stance change, as a good chunk of perks like Valor from the Night Guild requires you to have a very specific stance to have an effect. So every handle and blade has a type. For instance, the basic blade is a medium blade, while the basic handle is a medium handle. Medium blade plus medium handle makes a one-handed sword. You can find the weapon part's type and what the forged weapon type will be at the top right, above the other stats of your construction. There's a list on screen now and a link in the description to the Trello's list of weapon types. Next up, the thing I get a lot of questions about and the reason I'm making this video, and that is the difference between damage scaling and damage type. This one is important. It's the centerpiece of your build, and if you do things backwards, you could easily be wasting a large portion of your time. Your damage scaling stats are what determine what boosts contribute to your overall damage. If you had a 100% air boost and a 0.5 air scaling, you would effectively be adding a 50% damage boost to your base damage. If your base damage in this case is 10, then your base damage would now be 15. You can have multiple scaling types on a weapon, and they all additively increase the base damage. Now that we have our scaling figured out, what is damage type? Well, that is the direct output of your damage, and the stat that matters the most in terms of perks and enemy resistances. So let's take the 15 damage that we had previously after the scalings are applied, and take a gander at our damage types in this example. So for our make-believe blade construction, we're going to have a 0.2 magic damage type and a 0.8 earth damage type. This is an exaggerated example, and a good amount of the time your damage type will have something to do with your scalings, but not always. So let's multiply out base damage by these damage types, and that's the amount of damage we would theoretically do to a 0 resistance mob. This would be 15 times 0.2 and 15 times 0.8, or 3 magic damage and 12 earth damage respectively. Now keep in mind there's a lot of perks and such that increase the damage even further, or things like the Draco Guild's weapon infusion that add a damage type to your weapon, which does not directly have anything to do with your scaling. Stop thinking it does! Last thing to mention is weapon part perks. A lot of weapon parts, especially including the gloves from the Monk Guild, have perks. Some of these perks, like the Ocean Blade and Sunken Wood handle, aren't fully unique and have sources outside of the weapon, like the Water Ring. While weapon parts like the Zweihander have the Highlander perk, which is a perk that specifically only the Zweihander has. Anyways, this was a quick video, but I wanted a simple and fast video out on the internet to assist new players with certain mechanics. I'll probably dive more into the other mechanics and aspects of the game depending on the reception this video gets, so we'll see. Other than that though, I love you all, and have a great day.